Hi everyone, welcome to the One Code Camp channel. So in this video, we're going to dive into the world of MongoDB database querying. So we will cover here from basic to advanced or complex queries using .from, .where, and aggregation. So whether you're a professional or just a curious coder, let's go and elevate our data manipulation skills. Let's get started.
Hello everyone, I am Ian from One Code Camp and welcome back to our Mongoose lesson. From the previous video, we learned about what Mongoose is about, how to set it up on your Node.js project, and how to execute basic CRUD operations. This time, we're going to explore how to read from your database with Mongoose using much more advanced query commands. I hope you're ready because we're getting started. Here on our Visual Studio Code, we were able to have our app.js file connected to our MongoDB server. Also, we were able to build a schema for the database that we're trying to connect to. So these are the information that we wanted our records to contain on each entry. Now, what we're going to do is we are going to try to show all the records on our database as a start. So the way we do it is we're creating an async function we would like to name run. And then I'm creating a variable we wanted to name all books. And this will be await. And then now we're going to use the find method. And as you can see, if we type in the .find method after the object book, you will be provided with list of other options and other methods that we can use if you're trying to look for a specific information from our database. Now, this works similarly with MongoDB, the .find function. So if you're already familiar with how to create queries on MongoDB, you are pretty much on the same page. So right now, since we just wanted to show all of the records in our database, we will just be using .find. And then under this, we would like to have it displayed on our console. So we just want to say that all books are here. And then we are calling in the variable all books we wrote. And then that's it. Now let's save this file, run our app.js file. And then it should be showing all the records that we have on our database so far. So these are all the entries. Our database, it's different information about different books. Okay, now just like what we've mentioned before, this .find method works the same way with the find method from MongoDB. So additionally, aside from looking up all the information or all the contents of our database, we can add in a filter inside our find method. Like say, for example, we wanted to look for a record. And then let's say we remember or we're looking for a specific author. So let's try to look for all the books that has the author or that's authored by Sir F. Scott Fitzgerald. Let me type that in. Okay, save this file. And then we're just gonna need to run this file again. And then there we have it. Let me just maximize our terminal so we can see clearly. So from here, this is the new command we run. So now it's showing us 3 records from our database that has the author F. Scott Fitzgerald. And then I want to show you what's going to happen if we kinda like mistype or maybe incorrectly fill in this information. So let's see what's going to happen if we put in a non-existing string or keyword to our database. So let's exit this out and then run a node app.js again. There you go. As you can see, if we happen to look up or type in here a non-existing string to our database, it will be returning us with an empty array. Aside from the .find method, we can also use another method, which is the .where method. The .where method is another method that is provided by the Mongoose library itself. It is way more readable, the .find method, and it also allows you to chain multiple conditions together within a single query. Now let me show you how it works. So if we are to, let's say, we use the .where keyword, and then inside that, let's try to look for maybe genre. And then we want to say that we're looking for books where genre are equal to, let's say, fiction. So let's save this and then run a node.app.js again. Now, as you can see, it pretty much works the same with the .find method. It provided us with all of the records containing the genre fiction on them. So you can see we have here 3 records for the Great Gatsby. As per our previous tutorial video, we attempted to make test entries for that record, so don't be confused with that. Actually, we have 4 for the Great Gatsby book. We have 4 records of those, but for the rest of them, they are different. Now, going back to the where method, this is how the syntax looks like if we're going to use this to execute or to request a query. Now, like what we've discussed, we can chain multiple conditions together so that we can request for a query in like a single line. Now, say for example, let's add more queries in here. So let's move this on a new line so we can see it better. Okay. Now, we also want to say that for all the results that it will be displaying, we wanted to skip. We want the result to skip, let's say, maybe the first 2 records. And then limit, or using a keyword limit, to only 4 records. So this 2 methods in here means that we would like the results to be returned, but we will be skipping the first 2. And then we want the return records to be limited to 4 records only. Let's save this file, exit this out, run node-app.js. And then this is what we have for the new command we run. So as you can see from earlier, we should have 2 more records of the Great Gatsby in here. But since we requested to our query to skip the first 2, we only have 1 record of the Great Gatsby in here. And it's only showing us 4 records, just like how we requested. So let's now proceed in chaining this query. So aside from the genre, let's see, maybe we can also look for, so we're again identifying another filter. So let's say here, maybe publication year. We wanted to add a filter of publication year on our query. Now, we wanted our publication year to be, we're going to use GT, which stands for greater than. Now, we wanted our database to show us all the books that are published in the year 1900 and below, or nothing above 1900. And then we also want to make use of the counterpart of our GT method, which is LT, which, you guess it stands for less than. Let's say we want it to be 1940 maybe. So now we're telling our query that we want to look for all the books that has the publication year of not of greater than 1900, but is less than 1940. So let's save this and then run our app.js file again, and there we have it. It's only showing us 1 record. So the moment, since this is the only record that meets our request of showing first a fiction genre, and then we added another filter, which is we wanted the publication year to be greater than 1900, but is less than 1940. So it returns us 1 record only. It also, we still have these commands or these methods in here, which it skips 2 records, and then it limits to 4, which I think did not apply at all since it's the number of returns we have this time is less than 4. Let's see what's going to happen if we remove these methods for now. Let's save that again, and then run node-app.js one more time. And there we have it. We are showing more records this time, which are pretty much the same book, The Great Gatsby, publication year 1925. Let's see what are the other years for the rest of our book. Okay, all right. So we have 1800 books in here, which is, I think, the reason why it's not showing up on our search result. Okay. Now, for any reason that you would like the returns of the record to be just specific information from our model, we can go ahead and do so by adding a select method. Then you can just type in here the information you want to show. Let's say we only wanted for this filter to show all the books, but the title only. So let's save this. And then as you can see, it return us the request according to our given filter. And then it also shows us the title information on each entry, just like what we requested in our query. Now, moving forward, we actually have in Mongoose like advanced ways of doing queries. One is we will be talking about the aggregation framework. Now, the aggregation framework in Mongoose is a powerful and flexible tool that allows you to perform advanced data processing and transformation operations on your MongoDB collections or databases. It helps us enables to perform complex data manipulations, aggregations, of course, and computations directly within the database. So rather than like retrieving all this data for a particular task first and then processing it on your application code next to like meet the task or to meet the requirement that we would like for it to execute, we can just use the aggregation tool. So the aggregation tool, when talk about it, it has like have each stage. Now the most common ones are match, group, sort. I think also project and mean. But if you want to learn more about that, you can go ahead and visit this link from our MongoDB website. As you can see, there's a lot more stages listed in here that serve different functions for different tasks that we wanted to be executed. I'll be providing this link on our description box. But now back to our code. One example on how we can use the aggregation framework. Again, like just to give more context about how this works. It actually consists again of pipeline stages. That's how we called it. Where each stage, it represents a data processing step. Each stage on our framework applies a specific operation to the input data, and then it passes that transformed data to the next stage. This pipeline approach allows us to chain multiple operations together to achieve the desired result, just like how our where method works from the earlier lesson. Now, given our database of books, what I can come up with, so we can use aggregation, is to like create a computation. So let me provide that here. Let's remove all this for now. And then I'll be declaring a variable we would like to name result. And of course, it will be another await, calling the about the book database. And then we just need to use the aggregate function. Inside a parenthesis, we would be including an array. And then inside this array, we'll be using another set of curly braces. And then we're going to utilize one stage, which is the match stage. And then what we're actually doing in here is we are calling in a genre, which we choose fiction for our example. And then put a comma in here. Then we are going to use another function again or another stage. This time it will be group. Each stage, if you'll notice, is initiated or starts with a dollar symbol. Okay, now for this group stage, we are calling in, that should be an underscore, the ID, but we're setting it a value of null. And then now we are going to create a variable for the computation that we would like to appear. We would now want to know the average publication year of all the books included on our books record. So basically, we wanted to know which year is like the average in total for all the books we have on our database. So let me just complete these. We are now calling in average. Then we are calling in our publication year. Let me see if I have everything in here inputted correctly and expected. I think we're missing really placing here. Oops. Okay. Right, we are now missing really praised. Okay. Now that the stages are already there, down here on our array, we are putting our log, which what we want to show on our console. We would like to say average publication year for, of course, fiction. That's what we included on our filter. And then we are now calling in the result variable with a default array of 0 dot average publication year. Let me make sure we have everything in here correctly. So this should be outside of the comma. For both. Okay. I think it's looking good. Let's save this. And then let's see if it'll return us the correct request. It says null. Let me check that again. Average publication year. Okay, so for average, this should have a dollar sign as well. Let's see if that'll solve, because we're actually looking for an actual year in here on our console. So let's run it again. All right, there we have it. So try to remember that we also need to put a dollar sign on our filter inside the average tag. And then as you can see on our console, it provided us with 1883, which I think I forgot to be fixed to a certain digit, but that's totally fine. So now, based on our database, the average year where the books that has a genre of fiction is being published on the year 1883. All right. Now, with the help of Mongoose, querying against our database has been easier, and it can be integrated to any projects we will be building in the future. It can now help us from the simple to the most complex tasks that we need to deliver. There is much more to talk about reading from database using Mongoose, but the topics we did not cover here are best learned through personal practice. If you're able to do so, please let me know in the comments, and I hope to see you on the next video.